going on, Jeromes? Time for some Q&A on this beautiful day, baby. Thank you, everyone who submitted questions. First up, Traveler OG Jerome. Looking at fans' reaction to Turner year one, I think fans will see J. McCarthy as a bust if he's not an all-pro next season. While I'd like to see us win, I don't care about the record as long as McCarthy is getting better each game. So, I don't know. I feel like there will be a reset of expectations because, I don't know, like, even the most diehard Viking fan, I feel like the Vikings were playing, a lot of people think that the Vikings are playing over their skis. Very good team, yes, and a lot of things went their way, and the Vikings won 14 games. Should have been 15 games, and the exit from the playoffs is kind of sucked. Absolutely sucked, but it is what it is. But the Vikings, they have the motivation. They took on $62 million in dead cap last year, and they're still able to put together a 14-win team. And J.J. McCarthy, he was drafted to be the future. He is going to be the future. Same thing with Diamonds Dallas Turner year two. Hopefully he can turn things around, or not even turn things around. Like, I feel like when he was given run, he was fine. Right, and also, Nolan Smith for the Eagles really stepped up in year two after a very quiet rookie season. Hopefully, he can follow that. Dallas Turner can follow that same pathway. But with McCarthy, all the reasons why Darnold succeeded last year, they're still here, right? And McCarthy has got that moxie, got the attitude, got the arm and mobility, works his ass off, is in the lab with a pen and a pad trying to get this damn label off, is fully connected with Kevin O'Connell, and the Vikings should and could have a better running game, should and could have a better interior offensive line. Darius will be back. Brian O'Neill's still a stud. You got Jefferson, Addison, Hockenson. I mean, if McCarthy can't succeed with all of this, I don't know if he's going to succeed. So I do think that the Vikings won't really have a huge step back. And, well, define what a step back is. Like, is a 12-5 season and you win the division because the Lions take a massive step back because of the brain drain? Is that considered a worse season than 14-3 and getting second in the division? No. Like, obviously, things change from year to year, but I do think that the Vikings can have some solid continuity heading into 2025. Next, R3. Was it foolish to only sign Darnold to a one-year deal initially? Would a multi-year deal with low dead cap hits later have been a smarter play to help move him without the deadline? So I don't think that Darnold or his agent would have gone for a multi-year backup deal, right? Especially since when Darnold signed with the Vikings, it was in free agency. So the Vikings hadn't officially drafted J.J. McCarthy yet, but everyone and their mom knew that the Vikings were going to draft a quarterback of the future in a very deep draft class. So I don't think that Darnold wanted to stick around and have the team have full control, basically a team option on his contract where there wasn't going to be guaranteed money in the second year of the deal. So he wanted to hit free agency because he saw himself as a bridge quarterback, and that's exactly how this thing played out. It's like why he didn't sign a multi-year deal to back up Brock Purdy in San Francisco in 2023 because he didn't want to be tethered to that team. He wanted options, and if he had signed a multi-year deal, which on the surface it sounds good, like, multiple years, but in general, like, you're going to get the same amount of guaranteed money as you would have in a one-year deal, because generally, like, there isn't guaranteed money, or not a lot of it, into the second or third year of these multi-year deals. So, I mean, Darnold, you could say in hindsight, well, it'd be nice to have Darnold on a 2-year, $20 million deal, and we have full control. Yeah, he was never going to sign it. It makes zero sense at all in that spot. So, it is what it is. Next. Uncle Primal. If Kurt gets cut from the Falcons, do you think there would be an interest in the Vikings to bring him back at the league minimum? He's familiar and could develop JJ as a backup. So, on paper, it would make sense, but just feelings and personality-wise, I don't think it would work. I don't. And so Kurt has got guaranteed money coming from the Falcons this year, and the Falcons are probably just going to cut him. No one's trading for that stupid-ass contract, and no one's even going to give up a late-round draft pick, and even if the Falcons pay the bulk of the contract, not going to happen, right? So Kurt is going to be like Russell Wilson and the Broncos last offseason, available to sign anywhere for the league minimum. Because the Falcons guarantee X amount of dollars, and whatever he signs for in the new place offsets that. So it just makes sense to sign him for the league minimum. But in Minnesota here, it would make sense. I mean, Kurt, if he's completely given up the GOAT and he understands that he's just a backup now and he's not going to compete for a starting job, it's fine. Like Cousins, I don't know. Like Cousins was never really known as a collaborator, but I'm sure that he would pivot now that his role has changed. But when he was a starter, like, he was a starter, right? And I know that there's nary a bad word like talked about him, but in terms of collaboration, because that's something that Kevin O'Connell talked about the quarterback room last year a lot. He's like, oh, we got 5 quarterbacks in that quarterback room with Darnold, with Mullins, with Brett Rippin-Ass, with Daniel Jones when he signed, and J.J. McCarthy on IR. We got 5 quarterbacks in that room collaborating and all this stuff. I don't know if Kurt would be down for that. Yeah. So even though it makes sense, league minimum backup, veteran, experience with Kevin O'Connell in this offense, I don't know. It might just be too weird and awkward. Yeah. Next. Superior Gaming. It's a great tag. Darius Slay's up for grabs. What do you think? Nah. I think that Slay's definitely taking a couple steps back over the last couple of years. And maybe they bring him back to the Eagles on the cheap after letting him go. That happens. He could go back to Detroit, like he said on a Moners podcast, sure. But overall, nah, I just don't see it. Like a couple years ago, maybe, but I think that the game has passed him by even worse than Gilly, last year. Even though Gilmore had his nice moments, it was clear that he had taken a couple steps back, and I think that Slay is in that same category. So, nah. Next, Christian Augustine. If you had to pick one running back that you think provides the most value for when they're projected to be drafted, who do you think it is? R.J. Harvey. I love R.J. Harvey a lot, man. All right, so even though he's short, he's compact, he brings the thunder, and one cut and go, I like him a lot. So back-to-back major rushing years for UCF last year, 1,577 yards rushing, 6.8 yards per carry, 22 touchdowns. He's good to go. He's a solid dump-off receiver as well, and I think that he would bring a spark. He checked the boxes at the combine, running a 4.4, but just his toughness, his speed, everything is there. I think that he could and should be this year's Bucky Irving. I think that he is a running back that could go 4th, 5th round, especially given the amount of running backs in this class. I think that he is going to be a contributor from day one, and I think that he'll have some staying power. I think he'll have a 4 or 5 year run of being the running back one of a team. And just love the way that he plays, and I think that he'll be huge value in there. Where I know the simulators generally have to take him in the 3rd round. I just think with the amount of running backs this class, I think that he could fall through the cracks a little bit. But R.J. Harvey's my dude, man. I love him. Anyways, that's it. That's at Vikings Q&A on this beautiful day. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.